Hello there, guys. Apparently by doing this live I'm going to get sued, but I'm going to do it anyway. So this is a appeal to all Ehlers-Danlos syndrome family parents, to any parent, mother, who has a 50-50 chance of passing on Ehlers-Danlos syndrome to their child. By doing this live, I have just been told by the secretary that I will be sued. So I continue to do this live, and then I'm going to send this live over to the secretary, and here I go. Basically, Aaron and Faith were taken from me, from Flintshire County Council, because my children were sent to a underqualified doctor, a paediatrics, who doesn't believe in Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a separate condition from hypermobility. The barrister for CAF said, I have EDS, it makes me a little bit clicky. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and hypermobility are two very different matters. This live is an appeal to all of the EDS community for help and support on information of children under the age of 5 who are being refused a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome by doctors who do not believe in Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and are diagnosing children with hypermobility, which then means the parent is being put under question and being classed as a emotional abuser. I am back under the category of emotional abuse. Why am I under the category of emotional abuse? Because there are only 3 categories: physical, mental, and sexual. I'm sure it's sexual, but I don't think they actually have a category properly for sexual abuse. So it's physical or emotional abuse. That is it. So Child Protection, who class themselves as strengthening family CP plan. You can only strengthen a family when you are dealing with the core of the family's issue. I have a clinical diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which was a study done by Mr. Ehlers and Mr. Danlos. It means that there is a genetic mutation in one of my genes. Now, whatever else goes on, if you try to then deal with me as being hypermobile, then you are damaging us, because we are Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That is like trying to treat somebody with osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis as the same thing. They are 2 very different things. So this is an appeal, and I would like as many comments down below. And it doesn't matter what your condition is right now. I am very particularly now looking for people who have been diagnosed by the doctor named above here. I'm not going to say his name on the live. It's in the tag. His website is there. You can tell me whether or not your child has been sent to see this doctor and has come back as being told that they are hypermobile. What I am more looking for is whether your child has been removed as a result of not correctly being diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I want to get to the bottom of why these doctors don't believe in EDS. I want to get to the bottom of what is going wrong within the medical profession. We are physical beings. We are spiritual beings in a physical body. This physical body will eventually decay, and we will die. Our spirit will leave our body, and our physical body will go back into the earth, into the ashes that we are. It is the cycle of life. We are born, we die. It happens. We cannot fear death. There is no point fearing death, otherwise we will end up in a place of fear. We cross into a place of death in celebrating the life that we had. But we have traumas, be them that they cause emotional scars. The only person causing emotional abuse is the system to my family, because we are a physical condition. That is not hypermobility. This is actually the level of medication, steroids and drugging that I have been through since I was 13 years old, causing further decay to my physical body. It's exactly the same as children that are being put into sectioning units. And I hope to God it turns out that Bethany actually went to see this doctor. And if it is, then it is this doctor that is causing the problems to the EDS family. I am not saying that it is. This is not an allegation. This is an investigation. Do I have the rights to do this? Yes, I have a psychology degree and I'm calling it. I also have enough personal experience now of going to A&E and being treated differently, just like this. Let's see what's going to happen to me again. It will be in my genealogy of how many times I have to go through this. So basically, I want to stick with this, but let's just, I will go through this whole report with you, but let's just say an album's coming out. And when this album comes out, there's a lot I'm going to say with it. So here, an early years education plan needs to be created. Ms. Cotton continued to liaise closely with EDS and EAS homeschooling network, and the children will continue at David Lloyd Creche. That's what I'm doing, yeah? That's me. That's not them. That was what was going on before they even got in my life. Now, you cannot sit and talk about my children's education needs if you were just saying that I have hypermobile children. I have a 50-50 chance of EDS children being in my life because there is a 50-50 chance. Now, here lays the problem. Team manager to explore psychological assessment for Ms. Cotton. A social worker to speak to ASC regarding an advocate to support Kelly around AS Asperger's and management to a response or consider a referral to family safeguarding services. Now, the problem is, when you come near me and you say, "Hey Kelly, I hear you have EDS." Ah, okay, cool. What is that? Ah, well, it basically means that I don't produce collagen in the same way. Well, okay, how does that affect you? Well, okay, it means that I injure a bit more and I don't actually reproduce properly. My bowels have a little bit of issues. Sometimes I have diarrhea. Sometimes I have constipation. I get tummy ache quite a lot. My joints subluxes and dislocate. Does it hurt? Yeah, of course, it's really uncomfortable. I live with chronic pain on a daily basis. I have to manage chronic pain. Oh, fantastic, okay. So what sort of help would you like? Well, the sort of help that I would like is I worry about going into A&E because if I injure and I have to ring an ambulance and I've got on my own with my kids then can't go into the ambulance. The paramedics won't need them, and I need somebody on response to be able to be there if I end up in A&E without the drama. Just fantastic, great, I'm on my way, not a problem. I need that sort of support system around me. Okay, fantastic. And what worries you? Well, what worries me is if I go into A&E and all of a sudden they can't take the ambulance, then I've got the police ringing social and getting social in because I've got children and they need to safeguard my children. That isn't emotional abuse by me because I'm not neglecting my children. I'm trying to put a safeguarding package in that says in the event of me, a mother, be it that I'm sitting out here in my car right now, Dean is with the kids in the house, I got a lot of people walking past me right now. What if one of these guys mugged me and I don't get home and Dean's got to get to work? All right, well then Dean sits at home. Then people start worrying about said Kelly. Well, what if it's because I've been talking to somebody and I've got respiratory problems? Everybody's having a go at me at shouting, right? Can you hear my voice? Can you hear that I have vocal cord dysfunction? Did you know that my voice can't actually go over a certain level or I would just stop breathing? So it's not like I'm a ranter and a shouter. So the only reason I'm getting frustrated with people is because they're not coming to me and saying, "Hi Kelly, I hear you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome." Well, they're coming to me and saying, "You've got real emotional issues, Kelly. We've got to get you to a shrink fast. We've got to make sure that we change your beliefs and values and systems. And we've got to make sure that you understand, Kelly, that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is the easiest condition to claim to have. And it might just a little bit of hypermobile, a little bit flexible, hey? Little toning and strengthening. So clearly I'm that fucking fucked up in my head. I got something in my teeth. I'm clearly that fucked up that I must let, watch this. I'm gonna put it on my legs. I'll keep elastic bands here deliberately, right? But look. This. I'm trying to straighten it for you. Try and do it right for you. So my wrist here is meant to be there. That's it. Right, so that's straight. So that's my hand straight. That's where my hand is meant to be. Yeah? So I'm faking all of this, guys. And not only am I faking... Watch. Faking it. I'm doing this deliberately, by the way. I'm doing it but to my children deliberately. I am sitting there deliberately. Can you do all this, guys? I don't think you can. So therefore there's a mutation in my gene. It's not hypermobility. It's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And it's a separate condition. And it's about time that doctors out there that are diagnosing. So basically, these people... Oh, Aaron and Faith have been diagnosed with EDS now, by the way. The doctors got it done. And basically every 6 weeks I got to deal with these court meetings. Give me a coach, mate. Give me a coach. Do you know what we could have achieved in all this time with a coach? So basically, absolutely fuck all. It's all psychological again. No medical on here. So all that happens is we get referred to a doctor like the doctor that I've just named, who will then say that my children are hypermobile. Or maybe just it's fine. And when they get to the age of 5 and they start straightening out, it's just normal joints. Then the children get to school and you get put through PE. And then you start having problems with your stomach. And then you end up the child in detention. And then like Bethany, you end up sectioned, like me and many other children, constantly going to A&E, constantly being told there's nothing wrong with you, constantly then going through life. Then you don't really get your education because of doctors like these doctors that can't tell the difference between hypermobile and EDS. Now, if these people want to go and debate it and get a sample of 100 EDSs and 100 of hypermobiles and try to differentiate the difference between us, just like Asperger's and autism is 2 very separate things, but now they want to put us in the same box for autism. Why? It's all about money. Sorry, it's time that we all start standing for our individual tailored needs. Start with yourself, inside yourself, bring it out from yourself. Anybody tell you this is selfish? It ain't selfish to put your bucket first, because when your bucket is full, you can overflow to other people. When we can stand as individuals, standing in our own thing, in our own right, and our own indicative budgets, we can all individually do this. And that is the only way that this is going to work. So I would like to know out there how many families are struggling, particularly and closely with EDS, dyslexia, or Asperger's, because these are what relate to me personally, or sexual abuse trauma help. But I spoke today with a lady, a Dr. Helen. I actually got the wrong person, and I knew it was the wrong person when I searched, but I read her email, I read her website, and I thought, this is the woman we need. She's a nurse with a PhD, so it makes her a doctor. But she has a husband going into A&E now, having problems, going through exactly the same thing. At the end of the day, we're going to be born. We're going to find our husbands and our wives and have our families. And we're going to build our homes and our lands. And we're going to go through all of those years of going to work to build savings up, to create the best that we can for our families, for one day for us to get sick, for our homes to be taken from us to put us into care homes, for husbands and wives that have been married for 60, 70 years to be separate and put into two separate state homes, for children to be taken away from their parents even as adults, when adults are then put into institutions and children can't go and see their adult, I'm talking about adult children, can't go and see their parents at care homes because of these rules and regulations, processes and protocols. It's on yellow paper for the first time ever in the whole time I have had paperwork. Why is it on yellow paper? Because I'm a masked dyslexic. I struggle between the difference, and I'm going to need some glasses soon too. I struggle between the difference, and Amber, you might find this easier too, in reading white on black on white to reading yellow on black on yellow. It stops me giving headaches. But it takes to see a specialist in the field and niche of what it is that you're trying to understand. It's no different than becoming a social media marketer. If you want to understand marketing and social media, then you would have to go and speak to somebody about that to understand it, or read a book about it. These are the things where you may get intuition, but outside you've got to learn these practical things. How to build a car, how to put the smelly things on these things. Let's go Radio Joe in a minute. I don't want to wreck my car, by the way, because I run my battery 2 seconds. There you go, Amber. I'll rev my engine for you, honey, just to get you driving. Go on, Amber. Go on, Amber. Rev it. I'd actually flood my engine, so I won't. But basically, the only way that people can have the correct healing is when it is matched with the correct trauma and the correct problem. When people are trying to convince you that the problem is not what you think it is or say it is, and you know your body, you know your mind, you know your insides, you know where you want to be, you know what you love, you know what you hate. You might never have taken the time out to be able to process it and think about it, but your heart knows who you are and what you're here to do. I am seriously struggling with shorts. I might have been born an athlete, but I was never, ever born to wear gym knickers. I'm sure pedos designed these so they could watch kids in short knickers. I really do. I am not conforming to the dance world and to the athletics world in wearing these ridiculous freaking knickers that mean that I have to wax my bloody pubic hairs and walk around with my ass cheeks out. It's not happening. It's not happening. I think it's I think it's time that we stopped conforming to these structures and ways that have been designed to separate us from our truth selves, to keep us in the flesh. It's a really, really hard thing for people to understand. But you know those people that are out on the streets right now throwing bricks and spraying maces? Do you remember them horses? Do you remember the kings and queens and everything? There's a big battle going on right now that you can't see. This is separate from this, but I'm saying this because this particular doctor will probably try to get me sectioned now, so I'm gonna and try to sue me for suggesting that he's getting this stuff wrong. It's not his fault. At the end of the day, he needs to come together with the EDS community and understand, or maybe he's right and EDS doesn't exist. Who knows? I'm not a doctor. But what I do know is I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and the whole world was divided up between 7 kings. 7 kings were meant to look after the people, and the battle is going on out there between people who think they want to control this whole planet. I call them the pinky and the brains. Brain, 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 take over the world. Nothing wrong with the world. The world is the most beautiful place we could ever live in. And if you take the chance to go onto SpaceX, you can see the world from their point of view up there. You can look down at our planet. You can look down. You can even actually probably go onto Google Earth and literally zoom in and look. It's not in real time. It will be soon. When 5G comes up, it will be in real time. Can't quite cut it. But anyway, here we go. Ambulance. Woo, 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 woo. What if Kelly isn't needing, that's going to me now? What if that ambulance was going right to my house now because either I've sublocked stuff, I've just slipped the discs in my back, either one of my kids has just pulled their ulnar. What if that ambulance is coming to my house now? How does a mother get into an ambulance with children when she's on her own? Okay, what about dad? What if dad wants to be with mum because actually she might be dying and they want to go in the back of the ambulance or drive and follow them up to the car? But then you get to the hospital and you face rules and regulations and you can't. And this is wrong. This is wrong. Doctors were meant to be people who came out to the village, out to actually be with people. We're getting to see GPs for 5 minutes. We're getting to speak to a solicitor for 40 minutes. We're getting to speak to psychiatrists for maybe less than an hour. We're getting to speak to consultants and doctors for 10-15 minute slots, and then they're having a go at us. I'm sorry, Kelly, but you've spoken for 10 minutes. And so this is why it's all going in my book, and it will all be said in one, and that's it. And nobody can tell me to shut up. Nobody can tell me I've had 5 minutes to talk. Nobody can say to me, you know, you can't say this, because it's my platform, my story, my experience. And had I had been correctly diagnosed with EDS when I was born, and people not saying I have hypermobile and growing pains and, oh, she's got divorced parents, she must be acting up. Oh, she's claiming to be sexually abused now, she's attention seeking. If it wasn't for doctors like the doctor that I'm naming now, incorrectly diagnosing EDS children as hypermobile, Aaron and Faith would still be with me. I would still be a family. I would not be dealing with the traumas that I've had. I would have never have been sectioned when I was 17, 18. And I would have had the Chiari malformation in my neck treated then and fixed. But I didn't, because of doctors that don't believe in EDS. And they think all children are just hypermobile, bit clicky. So I'd like to know how many children have been incorrectly taken, unlawfully and unnecessary, by children's social care, be it that they're in foster care, be it that they're on special guardianship, be it that they have been adopted, just because parents and children's social care, because this report isn't on me, by the way. No report has ever been written on me. No report has ever been written on me. Now it's been written on my medical notes, and it goes into my children's name. And this is what we've got to start doing now. We've got to start showing them where the layers are, where it's going wrong. They're not listening, so we've got to show them. So it's time to start getting more coaches around us now, showing how these things should be done, looking at the full wheel of balance, looking at us as spiritual beings in a physical body, that then out there are things that it's like a catalogue. Do you want to go snowboarding? Do you want to go skiing? What experience do you want to have? You want to stand on stage and perform? You want to design a masterpiece? You want to build a home? You want to build a monument to something? You want to plant trees? You want to be a doctor? You want to help people? But the first and most important thing is your health. Because you do only get one body. And this body has got to keep you going from the cradle to the grave. And some of us have to deal with chronic pain and trauma on a daily basis. And we don't need people around us telling it that it's not true or it's not real. We need people around us who keep us going at the times that we get tired, when we feel like quitting. We need the people that understand that we're just tired and worn out. And we need TLC, not to be overstood, not to have someone saying and putting us in a tick box. Yeah, in a fucking tick box for emotional abuse. When these people are actually causing emotional and physical abuse and death to the EDS community. And no, Amber, you got the wrong person. He does not believe in EDS. He is the one that is diagnosing people with hypermobile. And had you had let me send that information over to them, for Elijah and Shiloh had gone, you would have caused for my children to have been foster adopted. It's lucky I won't do my own research, isn't it? Don't ever, ever trust anybody to do the work for you. Don't ever read an article and believe that everything is true. And certainly don't read a media broadcast, because it's marketing. They were marketing a vaccination to you. But they had to give you the problem in order for you to buy into the solution. So anyway, guys, if by July comes, it's either going to be that you're going to see that me and Dean get married, live happily ever after, and I'm off to see Aaron and Faith, and with Liam and Daniel, and everything will be great. Or I'm going to have a needle in my ass and I'm going to be sectioned, and Elijah and Shiloh are going to be gone. And it's because of mistakes like that. And I don't need that sort of energy around me right now. I need to pull the strongest team around me. And one thing came apparent today. I need to find somebody that I used to know when I was 14. It turns out that he owns all of the property around here. And see if he can help out. So, whatever you're going through, guys, keep going. Your truth is your truth. Sometimes you can't see everything. So for a mirror, sometimes a mirror needs another mirror to be able to see, and that's okay. But have a look around you. I'll go back to what I said in 2012. Look in the mirror. And really look in the mirror. If you keep looking behind you, in the past, you'll never go forward. There's always going to be people trying to get in your way. But really, take a look in the mirror. Just look in that mirror. Just really look at yourself and say, am I happy? Am I really happy inside? And if you're not, then you want to get rid of all that shit that's weighing on your chest. All that shit that's keeping this down. All that stuff that's got caught in your flesh. We know bad things are going on, but we can't build this with fire. We can't build this with anger. We've got to build this on love. We've got to build this on kindness and compassion. Now, what that receptionist should have told me when she actually said that this particular doctor doesn't believe in EDS, was it'd be good to get the two communities together to maybe discuss this. And when people tell you that the consequence is happening is that orders are then being granted to remove children, that is causing for children and parents to then have further subluxations and dislocations because police are being physical, brutal with people like me. You imagine a police officer putting my arm behind my back, what he's just done to me. That goes all the way down to my elbow and all the way into my shoulder. So if a police officer was to pull me and grab me, he'd kill me instantly. I'd die on the spot. Especially with this. This is my death vein. And this is the difference between hypermobility and EDS. this. So if you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and you don't have the right people and support around you and you're going through this alone, I need to know your story. I need to know how we're being failed, and if it isn't, if I'm the problem. Because if I'm the problem, then I can fix it and I can change it. That makes things easy. If it's something I can fix inside me, that's easy. But if it's something that I've got to fix out there in a system that is failing us, then we've got to all bring it together to prove it and show them. And show that if they were doing it a different way, where we would be. I'm scared. I'm scared because even the mistake Amber's made today, I've gone and contacted this doctor and it's now caused me some problems because he's not a doctor that believes in EDS. And had I had rang and made the appointment and taken Elijah and Shiloh, and he had been that doctor, he would have come back saying that my children are just hypermobile. I would have been removed in section with a needle in my ass, told that I don't have EDS. One degree out. And yes, and good job I'm not saying Black American because it's not the correct way to do it. American Caribbean, American, it's not black. They're not black. Let me get this through to you, yeah? They are not black. It is the slavery people that called them black men, yeah? They are not black. The only way you are going to make a black man matter is by making him stand in his own true heritage, that he is an African, that he is Nigerian, that he is Tobagan, that he is American African, American Caribbean, because he has American nationality, which is dual. Yeah, he didn't dual to being black. You will never, ever, ever, ever change the Lord's stance on this. The only way you will free people from racism and slavery is to enable them in their own true culture and heritage. It was the people that bought them and sold them as the black man, because they ain't the black man. The black man is the racist. If you see black man, you is a racist. And you will never, ever, ever change me on this. Like I showed you, I could walk out here. I can show you 15 different Caribbeans, Jamaicans, Barbadians, what do you want to see? We're in a multicultural area. I don't live in a white supremacy. No, they are not black. No. And actually, every person who is American Caribbean or Nigerian or African, they only ever class it as black because it is the white man that calls them the black man, the nigger. Now, there is a place called nigger. It's in between, is it Nigeria and somewhere else? It's called nigger. And they are niggers. That's where they come from. Negroes. And that's politically correct for that country. It is the white person with the black kid at school. He wasn't the black kid. He might have been African. He might have been Nigerian. He might have been Ugandan. But the white person wasn't educated maturely to understand that they're all from different places. So please, stop saying black. And they will respect you for it, because they don't want to be known as the black person either. They want you to understand their true culture and heritage of where they come from. So let's stop doing this to people, eh? Let's stop putting labels on people. Hey, this is the problem. Even EDS is a label. Asperger's is a label. It's about understanding the problem and working with the solution. And the solution is, not every country lives this way. My friend won't mind this. She's in front of me now. She's got the back to her. Yeah? My friend. Yes? They ain't black either. They're Turkish and she's Iranian. So he's Turkish, she's Iranian. So their son is a mix of Turkish and Iranian. But why are they Turkish and Iranian? Because somebody took over that country. Somebody took over that country. But anyway, like I said, one thing that this is all about, there's no point comparing ourselves to other people, because it means you can't deal with your own truth. And that's what I have a problem with people. And I said this on a Lover Live. Somebody has 2 legs missing. Somebody down the road says, oh, but so-and-so's got 1 arm and 2 legs missing. Well, you have to deal with your 2 legs missing. You can't deal with so-and-so down the road who's got a leg and an arm missing, because that's for them to deal with. And that is the problem with the world. So I'm looking for my health team that can work with me from where I am, with the truth of what's going on with me, and not just trying to put me into some category and a box that I just don't fit. So please, 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 if you are an EDSer, and I don't care what country you're from, I don't care if you're from the UK, I don't care if in the UK of that United Kingdom you are from Scotland, England, or Wales. I don't care if you have a Liverpudlian accent, a Mancunian accent, Southern accent. I don't care whether you say, oh, Dawdy Kakimichavi. I don't care whether you are from Pakistan. I don't care whether you are Iranian. I don't care whether you are black. Oh, I've just done it myself. See? That's how easy it is. Even I have to work on it. Yeah? Even I have to work on it. So I apologise for being racist. So I'll say again. Doesn't matter whether you're from Nigeria. If you have a physical condition, that means that you are subluxing, dislocating your body, very achy neck, you're having internal problems, and you'll keep going to the doctors and being told that there's nothing wrong with you. These are the people that I'm trying to find right now. And if you're not one of them people, go and find your own tribe. Bye.